Bienvenue dans cette édition spéciale, mesdames et messieurs. Bienvenue dans 20h. Qu'est-ce qui se passe donc entre Paul Biya
Ok. Qu'est-ce qui va donc se passer en Afrique? Comme avec vous, madame et monsieur. Rebonsoir à tous et bienvenue pour cette édition.
3, 2, 1, go!
Ok, c'est bon.
Nationwide protests demanding the resignation of 92-year-old President Paul Biya, who has ruled the country for an astonishing 43 years. What began as scattered demonstrations over disputed election results is now turning into a nationwide uprising, and possibly a revolution in real time. Before we go deeper, make sure you hit subscribe to Starscope News, because what's coming next could define the future of Central Africa. In the streets, chants of "Enough is enough" echo through the night. Young people, civil servants, and even members of the armed forces are marching together, defying curfews and government warnings. Eyewitnesses describe scenes that would have been unthinkable a few months ago. Uniformed soldiers shaking hands with protesters instead of arresting them. Videos circulating online show military trucks parked beside demonstrators, their crews waving the national flag instead of pointing rifles. The energy is electric, the tension unbearable. The spark for this eruption came immediately after the October election results were announced. Despite widespread opposition and allegations of fraud, Paul Biya was declared the winner once again. For many, it was the final straw. People took to the streets not only to contest the results, but to denounce decades of economic stagnation, corruption, and political exclusion. From teachers to traders, the message is the same. 40-plus years of one man's rule must come to an end. But what makes this moment so different and so dangerous for the regime is the military's apparent shift. For the first time, soldiers are refusing direct orders to suppress the protests. In several regions, officers have publicly declared that their duty is to protect the people, not silence them. It's the same pattern we saw recently in Madagascar, where the army's refusal to attack civilians triggered the fall of the president. Could Cameroon be following that same path? Witnesses on the ground describe extraordinary scenes. Crowds cheering as soldiers remove barricades meant to block them. Young protesters offering water and bread to troops. In Yaoundé, an officer was filmed saying, "We fight wars, we do not fight our brothers." That clip has gone viral across Africa, symbolizing the spirit of unity that is now shaking the foundations of one of the continent's longest ruling governments. And observers are calling this more than a protest. They're calling it a revolution of dignity. The question now is whether this unity between citizens and the armed forces can hold long enough to bring real change. History tells us such moments are fragile. If the government strikes back or factions within the military split, Cameroon could slide into chaos. But if this alliance endures, the country could enter a new era of civilian-military partnership, one that forces long-delayed reforms and perhaps a democratic transition. Paul Biya's regime has weathered crises before, from separatist conflicts to international condemnation. But never has he faced this kind of defiance from within his own ranks. Reports suggest several senior officers are refusing to sign new loyalty oaths, and regional commanders are holding back their troops. Meanwhile, opposition figures who were once in hiding have begun addressing crowds openly, calling for a national unity government and fresh elections under international supervision. Across social media, Cameroonians are documenting every moment. Hashtags like Backed Cameroon Rising and Biya Must Go are trending across Africa, reaching millions within hours. In Douala, tens of thousands marched past the city hall, holding up signs that read 43 years is enough and power belongs to the people. For the youth, this is not just politics, it's a generational cry for freedom. International reactions remain cautious but concerned. The African Union has called for restraint, while the United Nations urges dialogue. Western nations are watching closely, but none have recognized the election results. The silence from global powers is striking, and perhaps telling. Are they waiting to see who emerges victorious before taking a stance? Or are they simply exhausted by yet another African crisis? Either way, the people of Cameroon know this. The world is watching. Economic tensions are adding fuel to the fire. Inflation, unemployment, and rising food prices have pushed millions to the edge. Many Cameroonians say they have nothing left to lose. A former teacher in Bafoussam told Starscope News, "We taught our children about freedom. Now we must show them what it means." Meanwhile, the country's elite remains silent, their mansions guarded by nervous security forces. If the reports of a partial military defection are accurate, the coming days will determine everything. Will the generals back the people or return their loyalty to Biya in exchange for protection and power? History is full of both outcomes. In Burkina Faso, Niger, and Mali, similar uprisings have produced military-led transitions that promised reform but delivered uncertainty. Cameroon could either join that cycle or break it entirely by choosing democracy. Across Africa, young people are watching with hope. From Nairobi to Lagos, the story of Cameroon is trending on TikTok, Twitter, and Facebook. Many see it as proof that even the most entrenched leaders can be challenged by a united population. Others warn that revolutions can eat their own. Either way, a new consciousness is spreading, one that rejects fear and demands accountability. As night falls over Cameroon, tension remains high. Rumors swirl of cabinet resignations, emergency meetings at the presidential palace, and foreign envoys quietly preparing evacuation plans. Internet blackouts have been reported in several cities, a sign the regime is feeling the pressure. Yet despite everything, the protesters remain in the streets, waving flags, singing, and calling for peace and change. Cameroon stands at a crossroads, between renewal and ruin, between the future and the past. The next few days will decide which way the nation turns. Is this the dawn of a new democratic era, or the beginning of another cycle of military control? The answer could redefine Central Africa's political landscape for a generation. We want to hear your thoughts. Do you believe Cameroon is on the verge of a peaceful transition? Or are we witnessing the start of a coup? Could this be the spark that reignites Africa's struggle for true democracy? Drop your views in the comments below. And remember to stay respectful. This is Starscope News, bringing you verified, fact-based reporting from across Africa and beyond. If you value balanced analysis, hit that subscribe button right now and turn on notifications, because we'll be following this story as it unfolds, hour by hour, truth by truth. The next chapter of Cameroon's future is being written tonight, and you'll want to be here when it breaks.
Your team for an interview.
Thank you so much, Barrister, for those compliments. Welcome again. We've seen a lot of people have died since President Paul Biya was declared winner, and even before that, some people were already killed in the city of Douala and also in Garoua. What is your reaction when you see these things happening, Barrister?
A reaction of very sadness, very disappointed. One dead too many. In 2025, we are not supposed to be wasting the lives, especially of young men and women, over something that we are supposed to have a solution, over an election where people are not supposed to be killed. You know, this is not the whole definition of democracy, where elections are the will of the people, reflect the wishes and aspirations of the common man and woman. It's unfortunate that with the way we toy with human life in this country, the way we show disregard and disdain to human beings, and the worthlessness in the lives of Cameroonians, you know, it is very unfortunate. So I feel sad. I feel saddened by the loss of lives, destruction of property, and the time that we are wasting, whereas we're supposed to be building a nation, not only for today, but for future Cameroonians.
We saw you with Issa Shiroma Bakari prior to the election, and you actually endorsed him as you saw him as the candidate for the people and a candidate that can bring the change that Cameroon needs. But on Monday, yesterday, the Constitutional Council declared something different from what many Cameroonians expected, including certainly yourself and Issa Shiroma Bakari. How do you feel that he is not the winner of the October 12th election?
Well, maybe let me just take you a little bit back. Well, yes, I endorsed Issa Shiroma. It was a process. I had met Issa Shiroma twice. Before endorsing him, I met him twice. Then I traveled. I sent him a letter in which I articulated it was more of a private letter, certain things that if he assures me that he could do it for my people in this sense, the people of the Southwest and Northwest region, if he could do these things to them, I would endorse him and I would join him on the campaign trail. I informed him that I've never endorsed anybody. And I made sure, and I said clearly in my letter to him, that this is not about my personal gain. It's about the people that I feel that I represent, that I speak on behalf of them. That's what I assured him.
So it seems the network is failing everyone today. That is our guest, Felix Nkongo Akpo. They're joining us from Cameroon, certainly. He will try to sort out his network and join us again.
Can you hear me?
Hopefully it's working this time. Yes, Barrister,
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you on your own.
To me, he was the people's choice. He was the candidate of the coalition. And when I talk about a coalition, I'm not talking necessarily about a coalition of political parties. In an interview that I've given somewhere, I said that when the political leaders, if they fail to come together, the people and the civil society should come together and decide and determine their candidate. And that is what happened. So he was a coalition candidate of the people of Cameroon. And that's something which is important. So we did the campaign respecting the laws to the best of our abilities. And from the information that we got, Mr. Chiruma is supposed to have won the elections. And what was logical was that the Constitutional Council would respect ELECAM first. And subsequently, the Constitutional Council would respect the wishes and aspirations of the people who voted for Mr. Chiruma. Unfortunately, yesterday, the Constitutional Council, which is a body that was created by Mr. Biya, handpicked members of the council tailor-made to satisfy his whims and caprices, to play to his biddings, did the obvious in the eyes of those who appointed him as the winner of the election. It's unfortunate because it was a sad day, a bitter day for this country. For the progress that we have made as a country in terms of democracy and openness, we took steps behind because of the fact that the wishes of the people wasn't respected by ELECAM and the Constitutional Council.
Like you said, it was really a sad day. We saw thousands of Cameroonians really in despair yesterday after the Constitutional Council proclaimed the President Paul Biya as winner. Barrister, I just wanted to find out from you, following up with that discussion, because you said that when you reached out to Issa Shoma Bakari, the people of the Northwest and the Southwest regions were your main goal, they were your objective, they were the regions, people in these regions were the reason why you decided to endorse Issa Shoma, because you believed that he is the man of the moment and that he could do something to end the conflict that started in 2016. Looking at the results in these regions that favored President Paul Biya, more than 80% in the Northwest, more than 60% in the Southwest. How do you feel seeing that? Because we've seen a lot of condemnations from people from these regions.
Maybe it was a farce. It's the biggest scam that has happened in this century, in the history of electioneering, racketeering, and theft. This would go down as the biggest in the history of humankind. If you were to equate these to the gravity of crimes, these would morph to a level of electoral genocide. That is the level. It is a crime against a people with an intent to show to the world that people for the last 8 years have been displaced from their homes, have been arbitrarily arrested and detained. Some have been named. Their villages have been burned. They have not been able to go to school. Their brothers and sisters are refugees. They will vote for the perpetrator of this heinous crimes. This is the worst crime that I have seen in this country for a long time. It is embarrassing. It is disgusting. And I will tell you that the people who are part of this widespread and systematic election theft, they have lost any respect I have for them in my eyes. Whether you call them honorable, whether you call them chiefs, whether you call them senators, they are as vegetal in my eyes like anything. They don't need any respect in the eyes of anybody. You cannot tell me, it is unfathomable that you tell me that in the southwest and the northwest, Mr. Bia had caused it. In places where the elections could not be, Fako, for example, he was clearly defeated. You know, they came up with imaginary votes. And this is something that was headed by the honorable members, senators, ministers. These are people who teach their kids that stealing, lies telling, fraud should be punishable. And they use that as a badge of honor. They are using that for them to maintain their position in government. They are dishonorable persons in my eyes. And I think in the eyes of every sane and reasonable person from the southwest and northwest, no, none of them. And I don't want to use very hard language like people would say, I will spit on your grapes, you know. But what they have done to the people of this region, it's so embarrassing. It's so shameful. And they have the audacity to do after parties to celebrate. What are you celebrating? You're celebrating theft. You're celebrating spamming of people. I mean, you should be hiding your head somewhere.
Yes, just Barrister, I like the way the conversation is going, but maybe you have to take off your headset, Bernard. Am I correct? Because it fades in and out, and people really need to understand and hear you.
Okay. I've taken it off. So can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now.
This is something that the people who have done this are supposed to bury their head in shame, not to be celebrating. I don't want to say their champagne party will end. Their champagne party is ending. It goes beyond the last kicks of a dying horse. It clearly showed that the people had risen up, just like how they rose up in 2016 and 2017 to say enough is enough. The people had risen up against those who have held them captive for all these years, for those who think only about themselves, for those whose priority is about themselves and the children, at the expense of.
So you are saying that the results that we saw from the northwest and the southwest did not exist and they are false.
No. These are just cooked up results. These are just cooked up results, and they know. Unfortunately for them, the people they are trying to please, their brothers in the party who are from East Cameroon, they know that these results were cooked up. So whoever thinks that this result would be used to reappoint him or her, their comrades know that these results were faulty. These results were cooked up.
So
at the end of the day, yes.
Yeah, thank you so much for that introduction. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry about what just happened with the network. It's just a technical issues, and they happen every now and then. We are sorry, but we're happy that we are back. Barrister, in 2018, you are one of those who represented Maurice Kamto and the MRSA at the Constitutional Council during the post-electoral litigation, and you made a strong case for the annulment of the elections based on what happens in the Anglophone zones, Northwest and Southwest regions. In 2025, you endorsed Chiruma's candidacy, despite the fact that the Constitutional Council kicked out or ignored all the petitions, all the reasoned and intelligent arguments that you made in 2018. Did you have any hope in 2025 that the system was going to read the results from the ballot box as you saw them?
No, I didn't. To be honest, I didn't have any hope. I think I initially said, because you could tell, Elecam and the Constitutional Council. The Constitutional Council was created, tailor-made to ensure that Mr. Biya perpetuates himself in power. It gives it a cloak of legality, because they can argue that this is the highest court in the land that has confirmed what Elecam has. It's confirmed the victory of Mr. Biya, and you cannot appeal beyond the Constitutional Council. So we have a problem in this country because institutions are used as a tool, or the law is used as a mechanism to violate rights, to trample on the will of the people. If you look at the definition of terrorism, the anti-terrorism law, it's just a transposition of the IJO's law that he used, and that has been transformed to a modern anti-terrorism law. So it's always used, unfortunately, it's always used against the people. But there was something in the spirit that says never die, never give up that. Because unlike in 2018, this was overwhelming, that the gentlemen at Elecam and the Constitutional Council would at least, for one, say, you know what, this is the time to say goodbye to the regime in place, and let's allow the will of the people. Because it was clear. I'm telling you, even to some of the members of the ruling party, who I know, some of them are called to congratulate us. They knew they were defeated. In private conversations, they accepted the fact that they had been defeated. Everybody who had eyes, the blinds literally saw that they were defeated. There was joy and euphoria everywhere. Because it wasn't about Issa Chiruma. It was about every Cameroonian. It was about the potholes. It was about driving from Douala to Boya. That was enough to anti-campaign the ruling party. It was about the garbage. It was about everything that created an enabling environment for them to be defeated. It wasn't anybody. They themselves created the environment for them to be defeated. Unfortunately,
you've set the pace on the argument that the elections lack credibility, therefore the outcome is not legitimate. And on the legal front, we have already hit the summit of all appeals of all of the legal procedure, which is the Constitutional Council. It doesn't have any appeal after that. And Issa Chiruma called on Cameroonians to get out on the streets and celebrate the victory on Sunday, which was done across the country. And yesterday we still saw mobilizations across the streets. At this point, is sovereignty coming back to the people? Are the people trying to get back their sovereignty to gain legitimacy? Or are the people going to continue in the line of legality, void of legitimacy?
It's a kind of a catch-22. It's a very dicey kind of situation between people's power that gives them the legitimacy to do what they are doing, and also look at sovereignty from another aspect. When you look at legality, that the Constitutional Council has acknowledged the fact that Mr. Biya while streets, we the people, as the Constitution says, they say no, we won't. How do we get a kind of a win-win situation? That is to me, that is a question. A win-win situation where Cameroon comes out as the victor in such a situation. How do we understand that people have a right to protest? It's a fundamental right to protest, fundamental freedom to protest. Their right to protest and assembly, but at the same time that the state owes them a duty to protect them and not to use excessive force to carry down the protest, whilst equally also ensuring that the protest doesn't go overboard to destroy public and private property. That is the thin line that one has to navigate. If we were dealing in a real proper world or country where democracy thrives, they will be listening to the people on the streets. They'll be asking questions. Why did we win, but the streets are ungovernable? There is a serious problem. They will be talking. They will be trying to find a solution. Not the kind of arrogance that we have seen either in their celebration or coming out from the mouth of certain ministers, which incites the population, which adds fuel to an already volatile situation. How does everybody calm down, try to reason, and then we'll find a solution?
I think that on this note, we have to bring on board Barrister Michelle Ndoki, who has also joined us yesterday. We couldn't see her beautiful face, but she is here with us today to also talk about the post-election protest and how people have started dying. People are killed. We are seeing in different regions how people are being shot by the military. But the Barrister Felix Kongo was saying something during his discussion with Bernard. He was really questioning the credibility of the Constitutional Council and even the elections governing body, the vote counting commission, and so on and so forth. And I was just wondering, Barrister Michelle Ndoki, I wanted to find out from you, do you think Issa Shuma Bakari was right to have told the people, Cameroonians who have been standing by him, that it wasn't necessary to wait and hear from the Constitutional Council on Monday?
Yes, I think he was right. And I'll give you one reason. Soon after he did that, when the National Commission in charge of compiling the votes gave their own result, you remember the newspapers, first page, everywhere, Biya has won with the majority. It was everywhere. So that means, in fact, it's not illegal at all to proclaim, to announce the results as we know it. It becomes illegal when you're not saying that Paul Biya has won. So I think he was right, because one of the key learnings from 2018 is that we have to own the narrative, because otherwise it becomes a communication battle. We are facing a regime which takes pride in suppressing freedom of expression. So anything, especially if you want to uphold the truth, you have to fight your way to the position where you will be upholding that truth. So the fastest you declare what you believe is right and true, the better. Because otherwise, you find yourself in a defense position where the regime has already spread their lies all over, and I've experienced it in my personal life. How many times was I obliged to show my leg because they had spread a myth according to which I made up the wounds on my leg? How many times? So because you are not there to control that narrative, you lose in an environment like ours. It was crucial for him to say, after everything that has been done, for me to be able to control the results at the end of the day. I can tell you this is what happened, or I'm ahead of my competitors. It was essential, because otherwise it would have been too late. And it doesn't make sense to tell people that it is only the Constitutional Council that is authorized to proclaim the result. Proclaim has a meaning in law. Proclaim means it is you, the body in question, that has the power, the announcement that is made by that body is the announcement that counts. That's what it means to proclaim. That is, you are the one entitled to say, finally, this is what we are going to consider the result. It doesn't mean that nobody can talk about it earlier. And if you take in other countries, where take France that I know well, take even Senegal last year. When the following morning they announced that Diomaye Faye had won, it was not the proclamation. That was not a proclamation under the law. The official body in charge of proclaiming the result did that few days after. And the result that they proclaimed was slightly different. You always see a difference of 0.3, 0.4, 0.7%. That is what is called proclamation. But nobody waits until then. In all our modern societies, in France, the day of the election, when they announce this is who is going to be the president of the country at 8 p.m., it is not a proclamation.
Yeah,
it is the result of a census, or yes.
Yeah,
and
even in Côte d'Ivoire.
After, sorry.
Yeah, even in Côte d'Ivoire yesterday yesterday Monday, the results of the elections were already announced provisionally by the elections management body. And I think the problem in Cameroon is when you stop the elections management body from announcing the results as they come in, you create a dark period, you create a vacuum of information, and that is where they want to control the narrative. And
exactly.
Yeah, you mentioned something about narrative control. Do you think by Chiruma declaring and publishing the reports that you are part of those who collected, he actually won the communications battle and the narrative to the extent that more Cameroonians believe his version of the story over the official version of the story?
Yes. Why is that? Because we've always been working in silos in Cameroon. So you will know what happened in Douala, but you will not know what happened in Northwest and Southwest. So when you know what happened in your polling station, and you're happy with what happened in your polling stations, but 2 weeks after, they tell you, oh, Paul Biya has won again, you're disappointed, but you can't say anything to the contrary because you don't know what happened elsewhere. By announcing it from a national perspective, he allowed us to be confident that what happened in our own area corresponded to what happened elsewhere. And I think it was important because this was clearly, as Eric Tunde has always put it, a referendum against the regime. So it was important for us to know that everywhere in Cameroon, people, our brothers and sisters, shared this feeling that we needed to get rid of this regime. I think it was awaited as some sort of recognition of all the efforts put in to get to that result. I mean, the voters forgot all the divisions, all the problems of religion, tribes, everything. They just put it aside. They even decided to forget the grievances they might have against Issa Chiroma Baka. We put that as a people, we put all of that aside because we were of the opinion that the one thing that matters is we know how harmful this regime is to us all over the country. And this is the problem we have to solve as a matter of priority. So
thank you so much. Yeah. Thank you so much, La Fiancée du Peuple. I don't know if you still use that our name, but yeah, let's welcome Jean-Claude Mbede. he's also been following up developments around the elections, and he just told me off the screen that he's been doing some compilation of reactions. So we were talking with Maître Ndoki about the communication battle. Jean-Claude, do you have the impression that the communication battle, if it's succeeded internally, has also succeeded externally?
Thank you so much. First of all, I would like to say to your very great guest, starting from Barrister Congo. I think this is, I think I saw him last time in Munich 7 years ago. So, and also to Barrister Michel Ndoki, as well as Mimi. Thank you so much for having me once again. So, talking about communication, yeah, it is what's lacking, I think. And even we are asking ourselves who is governing, who is managing our state at this step. Because quand vous voyez ce que ces gens sont en train de faire, les hommes d'État ne gouvernent pas. On ne peut pas gouverner un État comme le Cameroun avec des émotions, avec ce que nous sommes en train de voir aujourd'hui. Ils sont en train de perdre. En fait, ils ont troqué la communication avec la propagande. Et malheureusement, ce régime qui procède par la manipulation a pensé que la propagande allait passer parce que ils sont à bout de leurs prévisions. On ne peut plus rien attendre en termes d'innovation stratégique avec eux. C'est complètement, ils sont au bout de ce qu'ils avaient parce qu'ils n'avaient pas prévu plus que ça. D'ailleurs, lorsque vous avez comme le parti au pouvoir qui a quand même les meilleurs experts, parmi les meilleurs experts du Cameroun qui sont des anciens de communication et de stratégie, on les a mis de côté pour confier la gestion de la communication et de la propagande à des professionnels de médias puisqu'ils travaillent pour des chaînes de télévision, mais qui ont plutôt décidé au cours d'une élection aussi capitale que celle-ci de venir expérimenter leurs petites connaissances en termes d'intelligence artificielle pour produire les fake news, ainsi de suite. C'est pour tout un régime, ces jeunes garçons qu'on a vus là, qu'on a embarqués pour essayer de manipuler l'opinion publique de tout un pays. Et ils ne feront pas plus que ça. La preuve en est que lorsque nous avons commencé à démontrer les limites, à démonter d'abord les fake news et la propagande malsaine qui était faite et que nous avons démontré les fake news qu'il y avait, et c'est là où la violence a commencé. Parce que lorsque vous discutez avec un inculte, quelqu'un qui n'est pas intellectuellement élaboré, et vous allez vous rendre compte que les personnes qui sont violentes, même dans la violence conjugale et ainsi de suite, ce sont les personnes qui ne sont pas capables d'avoir une assise intellectuelle pour pouvoir discuter avec des partenaires. C'est exactement ça à quoi nous assistons maintenant de la part de ce gouvernement. Ils avaient prévu de manipuler l'opinion jusqu'à la fin et ils avaient prévu que jusqu'à la proclamation des résultats, leur manipulation aurait suffi à mettre tout le monde au garde à vous et ils ne s'étaient vraiment pas, ils n'avaient pas planifié ça. Or, quand on gouverne un État, il y a beaucoup de précautions à prendre. Il y a toujours un plan A, un plan B. On doit toujours savoir. D'ailleurs, lorsque vous êtes ministre, vous cotez un dossier à vos collaborateurs, vous vous attendez à ce qu'ils vous apportent des solutions en plan A, plan B, plan C. C'est-à-dire, si ce plan fonctionne, voilà ce qu'on va faire. S'il ne fonctionne pas, voilà ce qu'on va faire. Même en termes de communication, d'ailleurs, lorsque vous êtes chargé de communication d'une grande institution, vous prévoyez que si le plan A ne fonctionne pas, voilà ce qu'on va dire. Par exemple, je prends un petit exemple. Lorsqu'il y a un match de football, le team press officer d'une équipe, le sport person, doit savoir qu'en cas de victoire, voilà ce qu'on va dire comme message. En cas de nul, voilà ce qu'on va dire en fonction des enjeux. Et en cas de défaite, voici ce qu'on va dire. Et puis tout le monde est préparé à savoir ce qui va être envoyé comme communication. Ce n'est pas le cas. Parce qu'au Cameroun, une fois encore, on n'aime pas dialoguer parce que il me souvient, et c'est pas mettre qui va nous démentir, que la crise au Nozo a commencé pendant qu'il demandait aux gens de dialoguer, d'écouter. Je l'avais suivi plusieurs fois où il appelait le gouvernement à écouter, simplement à écouter, même s'il ne voulait pas dialoguer, d'écouter seulement, mais ça n'a pas empêché qu'on l'arrête et qu'il se retrouve en prison. Parce que, pourquoi est-ce qu'il a été arrêté? C'est parce qu'ils avaient prévu que la manipulation à ce moment-là allait progresser. Et lorsque la manipulation n'a pas donné, et ils se sont rendus compte qu'ils avaient affaire à des personnes qui ont le cerveau, parce qu'on ne sait pas qui leur avait dit, comme ils ont certainement cru à l'expression qu'ils avaient développée péjorative, où on vous disait ce sont des Bamenda. That means people who are not even able to use their own brain. Donc c'était ça. Et lorsqu'ils se sont retrouvés avec des gens qui avaient dans leur cerveau pour agir, ils étaient obligés d'utiliser la force pour les mettre en prison et essayer de les comprendre. C'est la même situation dans laquelle on est. On a perdu des hommes d'État au Cameroun, on n'en a plus, mais vraiment plus. Les derniers hommes d'État qu'il y a dans ce gouvernement, les Laurent Esso, ils sont déjà aussi âgés que le président. Et d'ailleurs, ils ont été mis à l'éteignoir. Ils ne se font plus entendre. Malheureusement, nous sommes dans une république des gamins. Comme l'avait dit un philosophe en France, en parlant d'Emmanuel Macron il y a 5 ans, il avait dit « La France a mis un gamin à l'Élysée. Préparons-nous à en payer le prix. » Donc actuellement, nous avons des gamins au palais de l'unité. Préparons-nous à en payer le prix. Et c'est pour ça que le peuple ne doit pas reculer. Il faut les enlever pour reprendre l'État et le remettre sur eux.
Thank you so much, Jean-Claude. This is really edifying because, just to summarize, I might not be the best translator here, maybe Bernard can, but I think Jean-Claude is just explaining that for the first time, those who think that they are the best communicators and can relay things better to support the regime that is in place have just found themselves being countered by those that have been able to do the job meticulously. We've seen a lot of propaganda, use of AI. People are using AI to pretend as if to pass across propaganda messages, but they've encountered reactions from people, from big brains, from people like Jean-Claude, from human rights lawyers. People have come together to be able to counter some of the fake news, some of the AI publications that we've been seeing online in support of the regime that is in place. So this is something that we've not really seen before, Barrister Felix Nkongo. For the first time, Cameroonians are coming together as one man for something. Change, for one thing, which is change. Before, when we are talking about the Anglophone crisis, is in the north or southwest. When it was Boko Haram is in the far north. But for the first time now, we are talking about a national crisis, and everyone has taken it so personal. How important is this for a nation like Cameroon, and how effective is this potentially going to be able to bring that change that the people of Cameroon so desire?
Well, the pain and suffering across the board is enormous. It affects everybody. It affects some people of the ruling party who went and voted in such a because they also feel the cost of living. They feel unemployment. Their kids are gone to school and are not graduated. I always tell my friends, let me go to the CPDM and the Douala Boya route, everybody uses it. If you like, wear CPDM uniform from now to next month. If there's no water, there's no light, there's garbage in town. So I think everybody feels the pain. That is why people overwhelmingly across the political spectrum voted for Issa Chukwu. This is a new dawn in Cameroonian politics. I think we see how history is being rewritten. That Cameroonians have come together, irrespective of religion, irrespective of language, irrespective of region. Cameroonians have built synergy across the board, and their common problem is the current regime. And they reacted by voting against the regime. Whether it will bring the regime down is something that you cannot tell. Nobody has a crystal ball. But what I see positive is the fact that we have broken the myth that Cameroonians cannot work together. that there's always infighting amongst Cameroonians. To me, that's a positive that I take. That 4 months ago, 5 months ago, nobody would have believed what we are seeing in Cameroon today. It shows also that when people are willing, they are determined, they are committed, they can move mountains. And this is what we see is happening. You know, I don't want to raise hopes or expectations, but what I see is a people determined. It's a people ready to fight and defend their votes. It's young men and women who people used to laugh that they were not interested in politics. They have decided to take their destiny in their hands. And to me, it's a signal to the regime to understand that it's no longer business as usual. That the language that you use in this period of intense crisis, heightened tension, should not be the language of hate or provoking people. It should be a language of not because you have a hammer, everything becomes a nail. The time where you bully, where you terrorize the civilian population has passed. People are not scared of being arrested. People are not scared of press conferences from Atangaji. We have moved beyond that. He too should understand. And any arrogant person in government or in the ruling party should understand that for this country to move forward, we have to tone down that language. And if they are patriotic as they claim, if they love this country as they claim, they have to read the signals in the room. They have to understand that the people are determined this time, and they have to tone down. I will be blunt with you. There are people in this government who have contributed about 50% to the victory of the opposition because of their language, because of their tone, because of their manners, because of their arrogance. You cannot hijack a country. You cannot think that because you are a minister, you own this country. You can talk to people in a very condescending manner. They did that.
Yes, I'll just
son apogée.
Nous sommes déjà presque arrivés à la fin de cette édition spéciale, l'une des chaînes sociopolitiques. Alors, bienvenue donc pour la prochaine